Today is going to be a very, very good one. I'm actually kind of excited for it. There's kind of like a new breakthrough that I've made basically with voice AI and like the types of calls. Hold on. Let's see if I can make the lighting better. I think that's good. But yeah, there's a new thing that I found which is going to be absolutely amazing, absolutely killer. And for those, I feel bad for the people that will not be able to join this call because they are going to miss out on something insane. All right, something that's definitely going to change the game. And well, with voice AI at least. But yeah, whoever doesn't join, I feel bad. So tell the people that you know that will benefit from this to join now because this is definitely going to be really good. We're going to go ahead and get started for now. And then whoever joins will get to, see the recording and whatever they missed. Alrighty. So there's going to be a couple things that I want to talk about today, but the main one, well, actually, I don't even know if I should spoil it already, but right now, the main thing that I've figured out how to do is being able to read past calls. So if you're able to read past calls, so much changes with voice AI. Like an incredible amount changes with voice AI. Now, what I've created today for you guys is basically a sales team, right? It doesn't matter if it's mortgage on this or if it's not, or the mortgage doesn't matter, right? This is just an example, a hypothetical thing that you guys could change however you would like. What really does matter is the inside of the prompt and what I did to it, right? Now, this prompting for the past call identifier is going to be very different than the other ones. But what will it allow you to do, right? Because I'm going to be basically teaching you guys exactly what will happen. Well, basically the AI itself, but I'm going to be teaching the AI what will happen in the past call, right? That let's say another salesman had with the user, and how to interact with it with the current call. Now I'll give you guys kind of an example. Let's say Emma here makes the first outbound call, right? She goes, she talks to the person, she gets them interested, and they said that they're in a soccer game for their kid, but that they're busy and they can't talk right now. So they talked for like, I don't know, like a minute, and then they had to hang up the call, whatever. How do you really think that if you have a bunch of assistants set up, do you really think that the assistants would be able to know um, well, even before, do you really think the user would be happy by receiving the same exact call again? Hey, this is Emma. I'm just calling to talk about blah blah blah. Um, is this a good moment to talk? And then they have that conversation. He was busy, soccer practice, and then 2 days later, he receives the same question from, let's say, Emma again or Tony, right? It's going to be really repetitive. We don't want to do that to people. That's not very human like in reality. So what I've made today is basically a way to get the user or to get the assistant to read the past conversation no matter what happens in the conversation, right? And use it as a custom greeting and as a guide for the next conversations, the next conversations that the voice AI will have with the user. So this will essentially change how an entire conversation goes. Now, for example, if I called, if we go through the same scenario, right, and Emma called and the soccer game was happening and he said he was too busy to talk right now, Jennifer, the past call identifier here, will call this user and she will practically go ahead and say something along the lines of, hey, the greeting, by the way. Hey, we didn't have much time to talk last time. You were at a soccer game for your kid. How did the soccer game go? Okay. So it's not going to be like, hey, this is Jennifer. Do you have a quick 40 seconds to talk? No, it's going to be like, hey, the example I just gave you. But basically, it's going to change the game entirely because if we do this, it's going to add way more personalization into the calls themselves. All right. Now, obviously, I'm going to create an entirely separate webinar that's going to be explaining how these past call identifiers are going to be working. But for now, we're going to go over more or less the build that I've created for mortgage. All right. But I just wanted you guys to know this because past call identifiers are basically going to be the future. And I can already feel it. So the more we solidify them, the better. All right. So let's get straight into the build. The first thing, right, that we go over is Emma. Right now, Emma is a template that I created for Synthflow, and you could basically find her within the main Synthflow agency account. You go to browse templates. You go here, you type in Emma, and there she is, right? You can go ahead and create her and then plug in that template over into your account. Okay. Now, I have also created this document for you guys, as I usually do. And this document basically contains absolutely everything that you need to know about today's call, including the meeting recording, because I know a couple of you guys always ask for the meeting recording. It's very nice for you to have that. So please use it. It's going to be very important. Okay. Now let's get straight into the build itself. So first things first, we're going to go into Emma AI, right? Emma is, I'll show you right here. So Emma is basically an AI representative for Southwest Mortgage Corporation, located at blah, blah, blah. Her primary role is to reconnect with potential clients who have previously shown interest in a mortgage loan with a friendly conversational style. And then she's here to gather more information or determine if the lead's current needs, engage them with company offerings, and if they're ready, schedule an appointment with a specialist to further discuss options, right? Now, all of these guys right here have the same exact goal, but as I mentioned, they're able to read, all of them are able to read the past calls except for Emma. Emma's just the first initial call. We don't go back to Emma, basically. So now, how is she set up? I made sure that you guys have the best versions of these voice AIs, right? So for now, we're going to be using 1.0, GPT 4.0 as always. And the voice, this is a pretty much generic voice that usually a lot of users use. And we're going to be using Natasha Valley Girl, right? So these are her best settings at the moment. And then, of course, I'm not going to dig too deep into the settings because I did make an entire video on that on my YouTube. But, right, as you can see right here, we get the pause before speaking. We don't have any. Max auto duration, blah, blah, blah. These are all preferences in reality. So let's go straight into what is the build, okay? The prompt, by the way, is going to be with the templates, which you could go ahead and click on this button right here, and it'll take you straight into the template correctly. All right. Now, this is the first thing that happens. So you will have leads in your GoHighLevel account, and these leads will essentially get put into this pipeline, as you can see right here. All right. So you can manually plug them in. You can make a trigger that puts them in after you add a tag, whatever you'd want to do, you could put that on there. Okay. But this is to initialize the first call from a CSV list or however you'd like to do it. The first thing we're going to do is assign a user to this person, whoever you want to manage this contact, follow up with this contact, whatever. And then after that, we're just going to check for business hours. All right. So this is just a wait action, as you can see right here. All the actions are stored up here. And then we're only going to be able to call them throughout business days, right? Making sure that we have each business day correctly. Okay. Now, then we're going to check, right, if they have D&D on or off, right? How do we do this? Well, we have a tag, right, that identifies whether they have do not disturb turned on, or if they have do not disturb turned off. If they have it off, perfect, we can call them. If they have it on, we cannot call them. Obviously, they don't want to be disturbed. Okay? So, now, the first thing that happens here is that I add these guys in drip mode, so a batch size of 10 every minute, and this helps with concurrent calls. So the concurrent call limit right now for Synthflow is shown in their Synthflow pricing. So make sure to check that out just to make sure you know the correct amount of calls that you can make per minute with Synthflow. All right. Now, this is the initial call that we're going to be doing. As you can see, the model IDs here are connected to the correct outbound agent right there, as you can see. Okay, so you want to make sure to connect Emma to Emma, Jennifer to Jennifer, Jack to Jack, Tony to Tony, Angie to Angie, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, this call counter right here is super important. Okay? This call counter is pretty much going to go over all the calls that you made, and it's basically going to add a +1 as a custom field right here. As you can see, the call counter is a custom field. So we count the amount of calls that we make, essentially. And every time we add 1 every time we make a call. That's just how it is. All right. Now, in this condition that we could see right here, we are able to identify what call number they're at. So if they were called once, we go down this path. If they were called twice, we go down this path. If they were called 3 times, this path, 4 times, this path. Okay? So we basically identify what call amount they're on. And you basically, in order to get it, you type in types call identifier, as you can see right there, which you will create as a custom field yourself. And then just say equals to that amount. Okay? Now, what happens once we figure out that they've been called once, twice, 3 times, 4 times? You're basically going to go and add a tag, right? Follow up 1, just to figure out what section they're on whenever you go and see them. And then we add a wait time, right? We wait 24 hours because we don't want to call these guys unless you want to call them the same day. But we don't typically want to call them the same day. So we add a wait time right here for her. Okay? So that way the next call gets activated in 24 hours. So a day after, basically. So once 24 hours passes and it's in the work time, we go to this action right here. Now, guys, this is basically just the same thing, copy and pasted like 4 times. Now, the reason for this is because we're just using a different caller every time. That's it. So first thing we're doing is checking for D&D, which is the exact same thing that you guys had, that I had shown you guys up there. Same thing. And then if they have D&D off, we're going to add them into drip mode once again. Now here is where it gets different. All right. And I need to add this prompt in here so you guys could also have it. We could do GPT prompt. All right. So what happens here? Basically, what goes on is that I teach the voice AI. I made this prompt to teach the voice AI how to read past conversations and to create a generated answer, right, regarding the most important points of those past conversations. All right. That is basically what we're doing here, because if you're able to do this, it's able to generate a greeting of what it is you're going to say, right, to make that connection instead of saying the same thing over and over again on the call, right? You're making that connection. That connection is the most important part of everything. All right. So that connection is made, and basically this GPT gives you an output of what you're going to say in the custom greeting. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay. So this is where this changes a little bit. And this is when we make the other call, the next call. So I plugged it into Jennifer. As you can see, this is her model ID. And I changed it up a little bit. I said lead name, of course, which is the same thing as usual. But I did add 2 sections, contact.call transcript and custom greeting. Now, this contact.call transcript is going to be plugged into the transcript that we grab from this call over here. Okay? And Jennifer is going to read that transcript on her prompt. That's all it is. While the custom greeting is just going to be replaced, and I'll show you here. Prompt. The custom greeting is just going to be replaced by that. She's just going to say whatever the GPT tells her to say. That's all it is. Okay? It's simple. Now, we need to go over a little bit in regards to contact.call transcript because this part is not that simple. It took a lot of time for me to figure out, but it's very important that you guys understand how to use it, right? So here it is. Basically, I'm going to go into the prompt right now for you guys. I think I like this view better anyway. Okay, so this section right here, super important. Here's what we're going to do. Context on last call, last voice AI call, basically. If empty, skip this section. So this is an inbound lead that you're contacting. This might also mean that you've talked with a lead in the past. This is me teaching the voice AI. I need you to use the call summary from the past call in order to make this call more effective. Add any variables or key interest from the last call you had to this call as you see fit. Okay? And now, last call transcript identifier. This is basically a title. Here's the transcript of the last call. If there's no call summary between the quotation marks, skip this section. And now I basically plug in the entire call transcript on here, which is right here, which actually I need to change a little bit. This, let's call summary, so that way you guys don't get it wrong either. That should be that. Okay? So this gets plugged in to here, right? It's the same thing. You're just telling it what to do here. The value means what you want it to plug in, right? So it's the same thing on there. So essentially, it would have the entire call transcript on there for it to read and identify. Now, steps moving forward, depending on where in the transcript, continue the conversation and the correct objective from the ones below. So it's going to look for the objectives from the ones below, identify where we left off in the past call, and continue where we left off. So now it's not just going to be a simple, like, hey, is this your, am I speaking with name? Yeah, I'm speaking with name. Perfect. And then it goes through the same exact route every single time. It's not going to work. I mean, it might work sometimes, but if you make it better and make it understand past calls, it's going to be so much better for all of us, right? That's basically what we're trying to do. So we don't want to have the same boring call is the premise of all this. And by the way, leave questions down in the comments just to make sure that I can answer them later on, of course. But yeah, that's the main premise of all this. So now with that section, we can go into the next one. So I say after saying the custom greeting, I'll do it right here actually, so it's easier for you guys to visualize. After saying this custom greeting, which is the greeting that we say above here, that doesn't need to be changed. Wait for acknowledgement. If someone interrupts you while saying the custom greeting, make sure to say the custom greeting again, which is custom greeting, blah, blah, blah. Now, if call transcript exists, so if we identify a transcript of a past conversation, say something like, and then I basically don't give it anything to say. What I basically tell it things to say from the transcript that we already grabbed. So I say pick up Pick up where you left off with the user in the conversation from the call transcript conversation you have with them. Then proceed to the next step that goes after this question from the sections below. Notice how I don't say anything useless, right? I basically tell it what to do without having it say anything. Now, it's a little bit weird and it's a little bit hard to understand. This is not an easy webinar. This is probably one of the most difficult and confusing ones that I've made. So if you guys have any questions, obviously let me know apart. I'd be happy to answer them in my community or in the academy, however. So after that part, right? Let's see where we left off. Yep, right here. So if called transcript doesn't have a full transcript of a past conversation, just continue where you left off, basically. Continue like if the past call wasn't answered, like if it never happened. So I say confirm if it's their first name, which is basically what we were doing beforehand with Emmy. Emma. But yeah, that's basically what it is. Now I want you guys to listen to a call that I had with it. Oh yeah. Or even maybe I could do a call right now and see how it goes. If I embarrass myself, it's fine. It doesn't matter. So I'm gonna test the workflow real quick. If it doesn't work, I'll show you guys the recording, but it's fine. So I'm gonna be testing it so you guys can see. And by the way, each one of these calls gets sent to this post outbound call data extraction, which basically gathers all of their information for each call. Okay. So I'm receiving the call right now, as you can see.
Hi, is this Kevin?
Yeah, this is Kevin.
Perfect. This is Emma from Southwest Mortgage Corporation. I noticed you reached out to us a while back about securing a mortgage. Do you have a quick 40 seconds to chat about it?
Yeah, I do.
Great. Just to confirm, are you still looking to secure a mortgage for a new home purchase?
Yeah, I am actually.
Awesome. Could you tell me where you are in the home buying process? Are you looking at listings, under contract, or maybe have an offer pending?
Yeah, I'm looking at listings right now.
Got it. And when are you hoping to secure your mortgage? Within the next few months or a bit further out?
Probably within the next few months. But right now I'm in my kid's soccer game and I can't really like talk too much. I thought it was like just 40 seconds. So is it okay if you give me a call back later?
Totally understand. How about I send you some information by email and we can schedule a call at a more convenient time for you? Would that work?
Yeah, I don't check my email too much. Just give me another call and that's fine.
All right. I'll make sure to give you a call later. Enjoy the soccer game.
All right, thank you. Bye. Okay. So now it should go over this. I don't even know if I should enable this or not, but basically, it should go over the conversation that I just had with it, and it should respond with something related to the soccer game or however like that. Okay. So I'm going to move myself from this wait time here, which I should be in the wait time. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to change this go to and don't do this in your project if you're doing it. This is just me for testing. So that way it sends it to the right place. So right there. Okay. Now I'm going to move myself to the next one, next stage. And I should shortly receive a phone call. It's generating the GPT, as you can see right there, and the phone call is happening right now.
Hi, Kevin. Just picking up where we left off. Hope your kid's soccer game was great.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for how'd you remember?
I'm glad to hear that. I make it a point to remember the little things. So are you still looking into securing a mortgage for a new home purchase?
Yeah, I am actually.
Great. Could you share where you are in the home buying process? Are you browsing listings, under contract, or maybe have an offer pending?
Yeah, listings.
Awesome. And when are you hoping to secure your mortgage? Within the next few months or a bit further out?
Within the next few months.
Perfect timing. Do you have a target mortgage amount in mind?
I'd say around like I don't know, 50,000.
Got it. Around 50,000. Do you happen to know your credit score, or could you give an estimate? This helps us get a sense of what options might work best for you.
Uh, yeah, my credit score is like 750. Let's say that.
That's a solid score. And what's your approximate annual income? This just helps us recommend the right financing options for you.
Let's say $500,000.
Thanks for sharing that. Could I grab your zip code for our records?
Yeah, it's 52792.
Great, thanks. And what's the best email to send additional info if needed?
Let's do kevin@gmail.com.
Could you please spell out the rest of your email address to make sure I have it right?
Yeah, it's KEVIN@gmail.com.
Perfect. Thanks for confirming that. Just so you know, at Southwest Mortgage, we work with a wide network of lenders to find competitive rates and flexible options tailored to your needs. Would you be interested in scheduling a call with one of our mortgage specialists to discuss specific loan options?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Awesome. What time zone are you in? Our team is in Eastern Standard Time, so I'll match up the best available slots for you.
I'm in Eastern.
Great. I have an opening for Monday at 10 a.m. or Wednesday at 2 p.m. Would either of those work for you?
Wednesday at 2 p.m. works better.
Perfect. You're set for Wednesday at 2 p.m. You'll get a calendar invite shortly. Please accept it so we know you got it. If you have any questions before then, feel free to reach out.
Alrighty. Thank you. Bye. So as you can see, I put myself to the test and I did the I did one live. So you guys could understand and see that it works, right? It's like instead of saying the same generic thing over and over again as the custom greeting, now it actually says, "Hey, did your soccer game go good? How was it?" Blah blah. It makes it a little more personal. And then of course, once Voice 2.0 for the AI model is ready, it's going to sound a lot better. Like it's just going to sound a lot better. And I'm helping Synthflow right now make sure that we get these fixes made for 2.0, and they're working really hard at it. So we'll get them fixed soon, right? But all in all, this is, I believe, in my book, a breakthrough, and I feel like you guys can definitely utilize what I've created for you today. So I'm going to go a little bit more deeply into the automation itself, but basically, since I got booked into a meeting, now it's going to take me off of everything else, but I'll show you why. All right. Now, I can take myself off right now because it's fine. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, it's because I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have it connected to an inbound webhook, but it's okay. Basically, after each and every single call that we make, this automation gets triggered no matter what, because this inbound webhook right here is going to be connected to here, right? And we can initialize it. That way it sends all the information, all the info extractors, everything that happened, if they answered, if they didn't, over to this automation, as you could see. Okay? Then the premise of this entire thing is that we find them as a contact, we update their contact fields, we identify whether the call reached the voicemail, if the call failed, or if they answered the call. If they answered the call, we add a note to the call. And here we identify whether they turned on D&D, so they didn't want to be bothered anymore. They were not interested, whether they were interested and didn't book an appointment, and whether they were interested and booked an appointment. Okay? Or if they were busy. All right? So that's the main goal of everything, right? If they booked an appointment, we remove them from the past workflow. That's it, right? So that way they never receive another call again. If they were interested and didn't book an appointment, this really depends on you. If you want to call them back, perfect. You can call them back. I personally would remove it. But if you didn't want to call them back even after they showed interest, you don't need to, right? But you definitely want to call them back if they were busy, right? That's basically like how it is. Everybody's going to be busy. Everybody's going to say they're busy. You just want to call them back no matter what. Doesn't matter what time. You just call them back. All right? So, and then if they turned on D&D, of course, you want to remove them from both workflows. So we save that there. If they book an appointment, we can go the extra mile and go through this automation right here, as you can see, where in this automation, you will be able to basically remind the users for their appointments, right? And you could also utilize a voice AI assistant to do this. So you will have a voice AI assistant that will be able to confirm, reschedule, or cancel appointments for the user themselves. I can go on and ramble about it, but that's kind of like another thing. And I believe I've already done a webinar on this as well, or at least a YouTube video that I could share with you guys if you'd like. And then, yeah, each of these, let's say all the Emma calls, all the Jennifer calls, they all get added into their pipeline stages. Now, Emma, since Emma is connected, she added me into the busy stage, as you can see right here. But since Jennifer's not connected yet, she would have added me into this stage right here, which is interested and booked. But we still have it here just because we have all these conversations. Now, as the notes, you can see my call with Emma right here. And that I had the soccer game, enjoy the soccer game, blah, blah, blah. And it's neatly organized. It's really nice. And it's in their own pipeline stage. So you can just view it from here. Like this. Super easily. All right. So I'm going to drink some water. If you guys have any questions, just raise your hands. I have a good amount of time, right? I think I have 25 minutes. So I'd love to answer any questions that you guys may have. But if there are none, then I could just ramble for a little bit. But yeah. Give me one sec. Okay. All right. So I don't see. Yeah, Lewis. It's really cool, man. All right. So is this workflow also used in inbound calls? Oh, sorry, outbound calls. It's mainly used in outbound calls, Oliver. That's like the main thing because remember, this is like a sales team, and the sales team is going to be calling the users. Okay. So, in order to be able to do this, you need to have like all the past calls from the past assistants that have the call. But basically, the main team, the main premise of all this is to create like a sales team that all have different voices, so it looks like you have a big company, right? Is Visionaire a separate app to Synthflow? You know, I should be doing this in the Synthflow sub account, but no, Visionaire is just my agency. I just help people make builds, basically. And I'm not a reseller. So, basically, that's what Visionaire is. So my bad. I should have it as Synthflow, but that's on me. But yeah, no. This is all Synthflow, all of it, except for GoHighLevel, right? GoHighLevel is also rebranded to Visionaire. So That's just the white label feature that they have. Let's see what else. Do you sell a snapshot of your GoHighLevel voice AI build out with all the prompts already in there? Yes, I do. Depends on which one, but yes, I do, Eric. They're all in my Skool community. I think I mentioned this a good amount of times, but all of the builds that I make are literally plugged in here in the classroom. So all of it, like abandoned cart recovery, e-com customer support, e-commerce upselling, law firm front desk, dormant lead reactivation, which is the one that we're talking about right now. Lead nurturing AI build, outbound recruiting AI build, inbound apartment complex build, blah, blah, blah. It's all in there. And it's all in the document that I gave you, which you can literally join the community right here. It's the same thing. And we have around 124 of you guys that are already in there. So we basically have like a huge community of voice AI guys that are all in the space. A lot of agencies on there. So definitely join. It's really good. How much does it cost to be inside? Wait, let me see here. Inside that classroom. I'll explain to you guys. So basically, of course, the builds are not free, but as soon as, let's say, you purchase a classroom, quote unquote, which is one of these, you will basically get a book call. Like you'll be able to book a call with me, and then I help you set it up. That's like all it is, right? I'll help you set up everything. Let's see what other questions we have here. And I'm not here to promote myself or anything like that. I hate doing that. But I'm just here to spread the, what my builds are, essentially. But I share all the builds. Like all the builds that I've made are literally for free in like all of the webinars that I've created. Like if you just want to make them yourself, they're all there. Let's see a couple more questions. I thought these leads originated from inbound calls or initially. Got it. It can, Oliver. Like if you wanted to have like an inbound caller receive a call, then the outbound caller is going to be able to read whatever happened in the inbound call and basically have like a conversation of whatever happened on the inbound call. Literally, all is possible. Like voice AI is everything. Everything you can do with a human, you can do with voice AI probably. You just have to know how to build it. What if someone returns a missed call? This is a very good question, Mitch. So I didn't build it for this one, but I built it for basically all my builds that I do for clients. You just create the exact same. You see how they're all connected to one phone number? You basically just create one singular inbound phone number employee that does the exact same thing as Emma. The same thing. So now if somebody calls in, it's just going to gather their name and it's going to take them through the exact same process and it's going to book them into a meeting. And now you're able to handle outbound and inbound calls. That's how I would do it, Mitch. Hopefully that helped. Eric, this build that we're going over is the one that I just explained right here. It's this one right here. From cold to warm. That's basically what it is. Let's go back. Okay. I use HubSpot for a CRM. Does this work with that? Yes, it does. It does. But what I have built out is mainly for GoHighLevel. I'm not entirely sure how you would make very complex automations with HubSpot because I don't know if they're like a hugely focused automation company. But you could probably see. For simplicity, I would just recommend you just use GoHighLevel. But it's really up to you, man. I mean, it's all however you want to do it. You could plug in your HubSpot CRM, right? And well, you can use GoHighLevel and then plug in your HubSpot CRM to the GoHighLevel automations to send information back over to HubSpot. Is what I would do, Oliver. Yeah, so Lewis, you could check out the price when you go into the classroom itself. Let's see what else. All right, so this is this one is dormant lead reactivation. Yeah. That's right. What was the hardest part of making this build, Lewis? That's an amazing question. The hardest part of making the whole build was obviously the pass call identifier. Trying to see how I could get the AI connected to past conversations. That was the hardest part. I think that took me around like 3 hours to figure out. So that was like a pain in the ass. But still, we got it done. Works now. That's all that matters. It still needs to be perfected though. It's not perfected yet. Oh, Eric, sorry. So yeah, the guys that joined up, I'm gonna make sure to add you right now. So that way I have you all in here. I go over everything, and we basically post updates to the community of everything. Like this one was just posted like an hour ago, and it goes over how to upload Synthflow voice AI calls over to GoHighLevel, so on and so forth. It's all in here. And then yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I will see you guys basically in the next one, where I'm going to be talking way deeper into past call identifiers. But thank you guys once again, and I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have a great one. All right, peace.